Good morning. Just briefly, on behalf of the search committee for the music minister, I would like to introduce. Today we have Jeanne Garrett here with us, and she's going to give us a little bit of background and testimony for you all to hear. And later on, after Sunday school, we will be bringing that question, calling that question to consider Jeanne for our music minister. So.
Good morning. I told Kevin I don't like to talk about myself, so I was kind of nice. I don't mind speaking in front of people, but I don't like talking about myself. I don't send like that newsletter with Christmas cards either, because I'm like, I don't like to brag about what everybody did this year, but oh well. So my name is Jeanne, and I made a couple of notes so I wouldn't forget to tell you anything, but I wanted to tell you just a little bit about me first. I was born in Westminster, Maryland, and grew up about an hour and a half north in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Moved to Maryland 14 years ago, and I live in Arnold over here in Mega Vista with my husband, Paul, and our German Shepherd, Rocco, who's very excitable, and our cat, Tigger, which keeps things interesting. And Paul would be here today, but our grandson had such a bad cold this morning that I was like, no, you just stay home. It's okay. We're not putting him around other kids to infect. We also have two sons, JJ and Adam, and my daughter Harmony, and then our little grandson who is 4, Logan. And I can't read with these glasses, sorry. I'm a piano, vocal, and theater instructor with Music and Arts in Bowie, Hanover, and Crofton, Maryland. And I'm working towards my PhD in counseling through Liberty University. I love cooking, traveling, listening to music, going to the theater, and spending time with my family and friends. As far as the music ministry, I feel like I have always been called to music ministry. I've gone to church for as long as I can remember. My mom was a music director at St. John's United Methodist in Hampstead, and I remember growing up there. They had this organ and this little wall along the organ, so she always just kept me up there with her when I was little. And people used to say they could still remember I'd like peek out over the wall during the service, But I grew up going to council meetings and playing with toys in the corner and all that sort of thing. And I've taught since I was 16. And while I was in college, I had the opportunity to go to a Kathy Tricoli concert, as some of you may have heard of her as a Christian singer, as back in the early 90s. And I remember taking several of my teenage students with me because I had always enjoyed her music. At that concert, I remember 3 of my kids came to Jesus because of her concert that night. They were just reached. And I felt that, I could do that for people. If I could help 3 students just go to a concert and feel Jesus, that my call was with my talent to serve in the church, not just teaching. So I started as a music director, and over the years, it's definitely been where I felt I needed to be. I've served as a music minister for the last 20 years, on and off, directing adult choirs, children's choirs, tone chimes, bells, started 2 community choruses, and a lot of instrumental ensembles. I love sharing the gospel through music, and I've always told my musical groups that you might be the one little piece of Jesus that somebody gets out of a service. Although the sermons are wonderful by the pastor, I'm sure. But everybody has an off day, and sometimes, so sorry. We're starting on the right foot, aren't we? But sometimes there's that little bit of an anthem or a song that the praise team or the choir sings that can just reach one person. And if it reaches one person, it makes their day a little better. It makes them feel that they got that extra part of Jesus out of it. It's worth it for the day. And that's what we all strive to do as anyone that works in the church and works as a minister of God. That is our goal, is just to reach people with that word. So that's kind of where I am. I had taken a little break from church music because I was tired of working weekends. I'll be quite honest about that. My husband was like, but you still teach all day Saturday. I said, well, yeah, but at least you get me Saturday night and Sundays if we want to go anywhere. But something felt really empty about that, like something was missing. And I had applied to several other churches that I interviewed, and they offered me positions. And I can honestly say they just didn't feel right. They weren't the right place to be. When I interviewed here, I remember it was kind of last minute. I was leaving for Europe for 2 weeks, and then I was back for a couple of days and had to go to California on college visits with my son. And the guys had called and said, well, can we squeeze you in between that? We'd like to meet with you. And we did. And we talked for over 2 hours, I think. The committee and I had just a wonderful discussion. And I remember leaving and feeling so welcome. And so, like, if I was given this opportunity, that it was definitely where God was calling me to go. It also helps it's 4 minutes from home. So that makes it really handy. But I really did. And I'm hoping that you vote today that you would like to have me be your music minister. I think we can do great things with children's ministry, youth ministry, grow the adult music ministry. There's so many ways we can go and maybe try to involve the community even a little more down the road in all of that. So I look forward to meeting all of you and getting the chance to work together through music and fellowship. So thank you so much.